If I Were a Voice by Charles Mackay. If I were a voice, a persuasive voice that could travel the wide world through, I would fly on the beams of the morning light and speak to men with a gentle might and tell them to be true. I'd fly over land and sea, wherever a human heart might be, telling a tale or singing a song in praise of the right, in blame of the wrong. If I were a voice, a consoling voice, I'd fly on the wings of air, the homes of sorrow and guilt I'd seek, and calm and truthful words I'd speak to save them from despair. I'd fly over the crowded town and drop like the happy sunlight down into the hearts of suffering men and teach them to rejoice again. If I were a voice, a convincing voice, I'd travel with the wind, and whenever I saw the nations torn by warfare, jealousy or scorn, or hatred of their kind, I'd fly on the thunder crash, and into their blinded bosoms flash, and all their evil thoughts subdued, I'd teach them Christian brotherhood. If I were a voice, a pervading voice, I'd seek the kings of earth. I'd find them alone on their beds at night, and whisper words that should guide them right, lessons of priceless worth. I'd fly more swift than the swiftest bird, and tell them things they never heard, truths which the ages for I repeat, unknown to the statesmen at their feet. If I were a voice, an immortal voice, I'd speak in the people's ear, and whenever they shouted liberty, without deserving to be free, I'd make their error clear. I'd fly, on the wings of day, rebuking wrong on my worldwide way, and making all the earth rejoice. If I were a voice, an immortal voice. If I Were a Voice by Charles Mackay. If I were a voice, a persuasive voice that could travel the wide world through, I would fly on the beams of the morning light and speak to men with a gentle might and tell them to be true. I'd fly over land and sea, wherever a human heart might be, telling a tale or singing a song in praise of the right, in blame of the wrong. If I were a voice, a consoling voice, I'd fly on the wings of air, the homes of sorrow and guilt I'd seek, and calm and truthful words I'd speak to save them from despair. I'd fly over the crowded town and drop like the happy sunlight down into the hearts of suffering men and teach them to rejoice again. If I were a voice, a convincing voice, I'd travel with the wind, and whenever I saw the nations torn by warfare, jealousy or scorn, or hatred of their kind, I'd fly on the thunder crash, and into their blinded bosoms flash, and all their evil thoughts subdued, I'd teach them Christian brotherhood. If I were a voice, a pervading voice, I'd seek the kings of earth. I'd find them alone on their beds at night, and whisper words that should guide them right, lessons of priceless worth. I'd fly more swift than the swiftest bird, and tell them things they never heard, truths which the ages for I repeat, unknown to the statesmen at their feet. If I were a voice, an immortal voice, I'd speak in the people's ear, and whenever they shouted liberty, without deserving to be free, I'd make their error clear. I'd fly, on the wings of day, rebuking wrong on my worldwide way, and making all the earth rejoice. If I were a voice, an immortal voice.